Good morning. Welcome back to Blackbeard Crypto. Just wanted to go over some things with you guys today. Mainly some of the things I like to do during the bear market. And pretty much looks like we might be heading into a recession as well. So things aren't looking the best right now in any market that you're playing in. But one thing I always like to do in the crypto market, especially on the mining side, is when the price gets down, buy miners, man. It's when you buy coins, it's the best time to buy miners too. You never really want to buy a miner when it's at the all-time high because they're going to jack them prices up real high for you. But right now, with the price being down more than 50%, is when I usually like to go in and start buying coins and looking at machines. Right now, what I've been doing, and I've done this with the last two machines I've bought a couple of L3s that were broken. And what I like to do is come on over to eBay, and if you go into eBay, and you look on the top here, there's going to be a section on there where it says condition. And I'll give you guys a quick view of it real quick. Right there, you see where it says condition right next to buy now. That's what you want to click on and then go down to non-working. So as soon as you go down to 4 parts or not working, you're going to have all the machines come up that people just say aren't working, man. And they're going to be awfully cheap. And the price that's on there, you can always talk them down a little bit lower because that's what I like to do. But most of the time they're going to start around 500 bucks, you know, for non-working, 1 or 2 boards working, not working, whatever. What I like to look for is none of the boards working, and then look at the description, see what they've tried. If they've went in there and they've tried to mess with the control board, you know, stuff like that, then I'll probably skip over that one. I like to find the ones with the noobs that got into mining and didn't really know what they were doing. And then they got upset and decided to sell their machine. So that's what I like to do. I like to go in there and say, hey, let's see what we got here. And let's see what we're working with. So you can find them right around 500 bucks, then talk them down, of course. So both of the ones that I bought, one I got for like 380 bucks, the other one I got for like 420. 420 is a good number, and I even told the guy that. But anyway, so I got the machines. And the reason why I wanted to get these machines is because none of the hash boards were working. Nothing about trying a different power unit, nothing at all. Just, I don't know what happened to the machines. They just quit working one day. Okay, that's perfect description for me to work on right there, because that's telling me you haven't really tried much of anything on the repair side. And I'm not the best repair guy in the world, but I got a little bit of knowledge. And knowledge is just from research. So if you guys want to learn about miners, you got to research them, man. And I suggest getting in 100 hours of research. If you can get in 100 hours, then you can say you got some, you know, some decent knowledge of whatever you're doing. So I went ahead and got these boys. First one I got, plugged them in, none of the boards showing. It was barely connecting. I mean, barely connecting to my network. It would connect and then come off. So I was like, let's try a firmware upgrade, see what we got. So this right here is going to save you guys a lot of time, a lot of headache. If you see this little chip right here, this little guy right here slides in right there. So what you would do is put that chip in. Of course, the machine's off. And what I like to do is just take it completely apart, put the chip right on in there, one power cord to it, and that's it, no other power at all. And then go ahead and do your firmware update. And what I like to do is do a firmware update, get the latest firmware on here for the Antminer, and then updating it with Bliss, because I've got another chip that's just for Bliss software. So once I have this with the new firmware updated, I'll put the Bliss on there. We'll put it back in the L3. Very simple to do. It's a couple little springs on the side where you can just pull that control board right on out. It's real easy. But when you do this, most of the time it's going to fix your control board. And guess what? It did. Now that miner's up and hashing. So it's running like a champ right now. So it's making about $275 a day with today's numbers. And electricity, of course, you know, where I'm at in the Midwest, it's running about 9 cents a kilowatt. So it's not making, you know, terribly a lot right now by any means, but none of the L3s are with the price down. But still, it's a miner that I just got for under $500 with shipping and taxes. So under $500 is now my return on investment in that machine. I'll make that back relatively quickly. Now the other one I bought, I'm calling it Old Dirty Bastard, ODB, because that thing's giving me a headache. But for 380 bucks, what can you expect? But I've got most of the boards running on that one. Now that one is a little bit more of a challenging situation because I've had to re-glue a couple of the heat sinks on there. So right now I'm waiting for the glue to settle, and then we'll throw that last hash board in there, and we'll go ahead and see if we can get that one running. But a great way to get into mining if you want to kind of stay away from some of the risk that's involved in mining is buy used ones and start just messing with them, man. Start figuring it out. That's the key right there, because the worst thing in mining is when you run into a problem and you have no idea what to do. It's extremely frustrating. You get upset with yourself. You think you made a mistake. What you need to do is do some research. Figure out what's going on. Look at it as not as an actual problem, but as a challenge. So you're having a challenge right now? Let's do some research and figure this out. And one thing I always suggest, man, is the best thing to do if you have a problem with your miner, especially an amp miner, is go to their website. Run through their checks. Once you start running through their checks and going through the processes, you're going to kind of see that there is a process to find what the problem actually is. You're not going to get lucky every time you pull a hash board out and the heat sink's just going to fall off, and just re-glue it and you're good to go. You're going to have to do a little testing. You have to get a little electrical knowledge in there. I had none before mining and started to pick it up as I go. And I did a ton of research, just kept looking at it because I was like, man, I'm not paying anybody to repair this. I can repair this. I know I can figure it out. And after a while, I did. It wasn't overnight by any means. It took multiple times. And plus, I like to buy these broken miners and just play with them. Because the way I look at it, if you have a miner and it's working, don't take it apart. Don't fuck with it at all. Just leave that thing alone, let it mine. If you want to learn how they work, buy some of these broken ones, man. There's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of them. Buy them, start working on them, and, get your knowledge up a little bit. And then you can start buying these miners, when they're broke and cheap, fix them up, start running them. Because what I like to do with them, man, is just run them for a while, then sell them. It's a pretty simple process right there. Plus, you always make your money back doing it that way, because you're going to make it back for one, you get your return on your investment for just mining it for a few months, and then, of course, when you sell it, and then, buy something else. But to kind of give you a review on what the L3s are doing right now, it's not much. I've got mine usually overclocked. I've got them underclocked right now at the lowest voltage settings I can put them at, just so I can keep the electricity low and go ahead and just keep them mining. Because I don't like to ever cash out any of my mining revenue. I like to just stack it. So I'm going to try to keep the bill low, keep stacking it, because if you get into mining, your electricity bill can get pretty high. And I know myself, I got to work a lot of overtime just to pay the electric bill. So that's how I like to handle it there, because I don't like selling it. I want to set on it for 5 to 10 years, man. 5 to 10 years, and I'm going to be golden. And then if any of you guys do that out there, just look up what happens when you hold on to crypto for 5 years. You definitely make your money. So it's something to think about. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up on one way I'm making money right now, and that's buying these broken miners, seeing what I can do with them. Sometimes you're going to buy them, man, there ain't nothing you can do with it except replace the boards. Good thing is the boards you can get pretty cheap right now too. So usually a couple $100 for a board, maybe even cheaper than that, if you just negotiate a little bit with the guy. But that's mainly what you want to do. The price that I find is usually $200 a board. They're $1,350. You can usually talk them down to $225, especially in today's market when we're just on the verge of going into a recession. And with the gas prices hitting as high as they are right now, you got to feel we're going right into a recession. So keep stacking up, put some USD on the side, man, get ready to start buying, because when the market goes down, it won't stay down for long. Get in when you can, make that money, guys. But I definitely want to give you guys a heads up with the mining on how to kind of repair and make a little money that way, especially with the prices being as low as they are right now. But if you have any questions about it, definitely hit me up in the comments. If you like what we just talked about, hit like and subscribe. The channel always appreciates that. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend and try to stay warm out there. Blackbeard out. Be blessed, everybody.